Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video. Hope you are enjoying my class. Today we will discuss about the topic state and the authorities under Indian constitutional law, which is coming under Article 12 of Constitution of India. So before explaining about the term state and what is Article 12, let me explain you something, just one line about the fundamental rights. So how many fundamental rights are there and those rights are coming under which article? So let us discuss. Like first is right to equality, which is coming under Article 14 to 18 will explain the right to equality. Next is right to freedom, which is Article 19 to Article 22. Next is right against exploitation, which is explained from Article 23 and 24. Next is right to freedom of religion, which is Article 25 to 28. And cultural and educational rights, which is Article 29 and 30. So these are the fundamental rights. If anyone violates the fundamental rights, then definitely you are going to get the constitutional remedies, that is your right to constitutional remedies, which you will get under Article 32. What is fundamental rights basically? Fundamental rights usually protect us or protect the person from the power of the state, and hence the definition of the state is very important. We need to know what do you mean by the state. So fundamental rights used to protect a person from the power of the state. But remember, a state cannot violate fundamental rights. Okay. Now come to the definition of state. What do you mean by state? First of all, the definition of state or state is defined in Article 12. So the state includes the following by the definition. First of all, the government. State means the government and the Parliament of India, or the government and legislation of each state. You know, state legislature is there who makes the law for the state. So legislation of each state. All local authorities are also coming under the purview of state, and other authorities within the Indian territories on under the which is under the control of the government, that is also can be treated under the purview of Article 12, that is state. Now let me explain. First we came to know what is state. State means, if you are asked in the exam what do you mean by state, first of all, state is defined under Article 12. Secondly, state includes the following. Point number 1 is the government and the Parliament of India. Second, the government and the legislation of each state. Thirdly, all local authorities. Fourth, all other authorities within the Indian territory or under the control of government. Now let me explain you these two. You know what is government, like state government, central government, parliament, state legislature, you have that idea. But what do you mean by this local authority and other authority? Let's see. Local authority means they refer authorities. Local authorities are the authorities like, you know, municipalities or district board, panchayats, improvement trust, port trust or mining settlement board. So these are the local authority normally. So let us discuss one case law, which is Union of India versus R.C. Jain. So what happened actually in this case? In Union of India versus R.C. Jain, here this case is relating to local authority. So the authority is whether is local authority or not, that is actually the controversial things happened between them. So now here it said like that ki what is local authority? Local authority is an authority if it fulfill the following. If it fulfills fulfill these following points. First of all, local authority, it must be a separate legal existence, like a company, you know, it's Separate legal existence means separate legal entity like a body corporate. Everything is distinct from that authority. Whoever is shareholder, whoever is working, or whoever is the whatever is the department, shareholder, director, all are distinct from the main authority. That is known as separate legal existence. Next is, it should function in a defined area. So, one area is defined, like this local authority will perform on this specific area. So, they will perform on this specific area only, not other than this. So, that is these local authorities should function in a defined area. Whatever area is defined, they will work on it. They are having power to raise fund, definitely, to grow business, to grow their authority. They need money, and to need money, they can raise money, can raise fund like a body corporate. Enjoys autonomy. What do you mean by the term autonomy? That is self-rule. That means someone is making the rule for us and we are following that. No need. They will make their own rule and they will follow that. And is entrusted by the statute with function. That means it should be formed, or it should entrusted by the statute. That means what? It should be as per law. Okay, it should be as per law. It's whatever its function, duties, powers, it should come under the purview of that local authorities. That is under Article 12, which explains state and other authorities. So, in this case it is clear, like any authority, if you want to say that authority as a local authority, then they should fulfill all these 5 points. Then you can treat that authority as a local authority. Next, come to what do you mean by the other authority. They are telling whichever is not a local authority, other than local authority, all will come under the other authority. But yes, it refers to the authorities other than those of local self-government. Okay, whatever we have explained or we have read here in the local authority, other than these authority, all will come under the other authority. But definitely they will have power, they are having power to make rules, regulation, etc. and having the force of law. The expression other authorities will include all constitutional statutory authorities on whom powers are conferred for the purpose of promoting economic activities. So, other authorities includes any type of constitutional or statutory authorities. Okay, what do you mean by statutory authorities? Any authority which is governed by the parliament or state legislative assembly, like that. Okay, so those statutory authorities are also come under the purview of other authority, and they can have the power to make the rules or law for the purpose of promoting economic activities. Just now I explained statutory corporation. Statutory means, what do you mean by the term statutory? It's a legal. Corporation means it can be corporate, it can be company, body corporate, like that. That also can be classified as authorities only if they perform governmental, quasi-governmental or public functions. So, if any corporation is performing governmental work or else commercial work or else quasi-governmental or public function. What do you mean by quasi-governmental? Which is supported by government, the authority which is supported by government but managed privately. Managed privately. So, such authorities are known as like quasi-governmental, means they are performing quasi-governmental. That means whatever performance they are doing or whatever function they are actually doing, that are completely supported by the government, but they are managed privately. That is known as quasi. Got it? So, any statutory corporation can be classified under this authority if they perform governmental, quasi-governmental or public functions, including commercial functions, and if either they are doing governmental work or they are doing commercial work or they are supported by the government but managed privately by others. These authority also can be treated under the purview of other authority if they are not a local authority. So, So let us discuss one case, that is Ajay Hasaya versus Khalid Mujib Sherawardi. Here let me tell you the fact first. Ajay Hasaya and few others actually along with him failed to secure admission to a college, that is a regional engineering college which is situated at Srinagar. Okay. So though they failed to take the admission there, they challenged before the Supreme Court that admission process was totally arbitrary and violative of the fundamental rights of equality. So Ajay Hasaya said like that this admission process is total void. Why? Because they are violating the fundamental rights of equality. Okay, that is, right of equality is explained in Article 14 of Constitution. Now the right, however, is available only against the state. You know this. Now the question will arise, like regional engineering college is what type of authority? Got it? Now the right, however, is available only against the state as defined in Article 12. The definition of state includes other authorities. Now other authorities also coming under the purview of state only, that is Article 12. The term other authorities has been subject to judicial interpretation and come to include instrumentality or agency of the government. That means what? This regional engineering college Srinagar, this is type of society, or you can say it is also an authority. So Ajay Hasaya case consolidated the developing law and formulated that not only the bodies created by an act, but also bodies created under a law like societies which are registered under Societies Registration Act can be other authorities. So in this case what happened? I already told you, like state cannot violate fundamental rights, correct? So state cannot violate fundamental rights. So if the regional engineering college is coming under the purview of authority, that means it is coming under the purview of Article 12, that is state. So definitely this authority cannot violate fundamental rights. Okay. Same thing told, means held by the court only. So in this case court held that corporation which is agent of the government is also a state under Article 12 and cannot violate fundamental rights. So they cannot violate this fundamental rights which is claimed by the Ajay Hasaya, that is right of equality, which is coming under Article 14. So definitely the Ajay Hasaya's case got dismissed. Got it? So this is another case law relating to the other authorities. One more case law, Electricity Board Rajasthan versus Mohanlal. In this case, the Supreme Court held that the expression other authorities is wide enough to include all authorities created by the Constitution or statute or whom the powers are conferred by law. It is not necessary that the statutory authority should be engaged in performing the governmental or sovereign function. So in this case it is said like that ki other authorities term is very vast. Okay, other authorities term is very vast. It includes many things. It includes all authorities which is created either by law, which is created, means statutory, it is created by the parliament or the state legislative assembly. Now they are telling it is not necessary ki statutory authority should always work the governmental work or sovereign function. They can do other than governmental work also. So they should, it is not necessary that the statutory authority should engage themselves or should perform the government or sovereign function only. They can do any type of work other than government sovereign function. So any authority who is not working governmental work, that doesn't mean this authority is not other authority. Got it na? So it doesn't mean ki the authority can come under the purview of other authorities only if it performs the governmental or sovereign function. It is not necessary. It can work other than governmental or sovereign function. So that is only there in this case, that is Electricity Board Rajasthan versus Mohanlal.